The Broncos have shown interest in pursuing tax increment financing through urban.
Tax increment financing. I just want to kind of piggyback a sidecar onto this really, really good video about the sneaky, stealthy way that the city wants to pay for the new Bronco Stadium, which we don't even fucking need in the first place. But tax increment financing, it's very, very important that folks understand this concept. Basically, what that means is that all of the property taxes that they would normally have to pay they would still pay them, but they would get collected and reinvested back into the cost of the infrastructure, sidewalks, lights, pavement for the streets, water lines, power lines, all of that stuff, and it gets redirected back into that project for 25 years. Now that sounds pretty good. However, according to state law, 60% of all of the property taxes for personal property and commercial property, 60% actually goes to pay for our schools. So if for the next 25 years, they use tax increment financing to pay for a Bronco Stadium that we don't fucking need in the first place, our schools will be starved for 25 years because that money, those tax dollars that are supposed to go to the schools to pay for buildings, to pay for teacher salaries and teacher pensions, to pay for books for the students, all of those things like that, the cost of those things have to be borne by everybody else in the city, and the majority of kids that go to Denver public schools are low-income students. And we just heard Denver public schools reported that they don't have enough money, and they're going to be like at something like a $500 million or $1 billion budget deficit, and they don't know what they're going to do. Well, guess what? That Bronco Stadium is going to be directly responsible for additional budget shortfall for the Denver public schools. We already have a bunch of TIF projects that we have to cover the note for. Like, for example, the entire formerly known as Stapleton, now the Central Park neighborhood, all of the streets, all of that stuff, because that's all private development. That's a TIF project. There's a bunch of other projects like that are TIF projects, and all of the property taxes that those developers would have to pay normally get diverted back in, and it's corporate welfare. Because if you're building a stadium, if you're building a neighborhood and you own the property, own the land that it's on, that should be your normal cost of business, which, by the way, for the most part, is tax deductible. You can deduct that when you do your taxes, your corporate taxes for the next year. So that alone is a reason that we should be voting no on any of these bonds, and definitely no on anything that's going to go to support a new Bronco Stadium that we don't even need. Absolutely not.